what's going on, everybody? RBL Commissioner Pat Barker here. Before we jump into this week's episode of RBL Weekly, wanted to give you guys some dates coming up in case you wanted to see the roast battle live. February 22nd, that's 2 nights from tonight, here in Los Angeles at Jam in the Van for the conclusion of the first round of the California Cup. That event is invite only, so make sure you're following Jam in the Van on Instagram and you're able to get on the list for that one. Later this month, February 28th, we will be up in Tacoma at Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club. On March 3rd, back at the Mothership in Austin, Texas. Then on the 13th of March, we are going to be out at the Tempe Improv. Before the 16th of March, we head to the Dallas-Fort Worth area for the Big Laugh Comedy Club in Fort Worth, Texas, all before returning for the next round of the California Cup on March 21st at Jam in the Van. Got a lot of shows coming up, and of course, every Tuesday at the Belly Room here in Los Angeles. Appreciate you guys for coming and checking us out on the road. For now, let's get to this week's episode of RBL Weekly. What's going on, everybody? RBL Weekly back with another installment. I am the Roast Battle League Commissioner, Pat Barker, joined as always by the creator and host of the Roast Battle, Brian Moses. Describe your outfit. What are we doing?
Do we have to get into it? I thought we were going to get right into the episode, Pat. We don't
let's get right into the episode.
Thank you.
We'll just pretend this isn't happening. The season is right around the corner. I don't know how I'm supposed to take you seriously. I'll figure it out.
I'm in my Coach Prime era, Pat.
Yeah. How did he do this season?
I mean, we had 4 wins.
Got to start somewhere.
I was like John Najota in the semifinals, you know?
No, I get that.
Strong 4.
I get that.
The early 4.
Strength of schedule on the 4 is it was looking like 6 for a minute, and then it all kind of fell apart.
It sounds like penis sizes.
Okay.
Strong 4. It felt like 6, but it was a really strong 4.
Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time I've used that sales pitch.
Gross.
Yeah. Let's get right into the episode then. Let's talk RBL season 2024 coming up. We have 3 more of these episodes. I'm not going to lie. We are staggering to the finish line, I feel like here. At least I am. I can't wait until the season starts. We have new, fresh battles coming in from everybody. We have the standings, the races start, the MVP race, everything like that. I'm excited for that. But I committed to, I'm going to do this podcast every week during the off season, and I've hit a wall. So I hit my friends up in Vegas, and I was like, yo, can you put together some odds for this episode so we could do some gambling breakdown? I know how much you think gambling is the future of the Roast Battle League.
Damn right.
Yeah, you want people to like lose their life savings on this shit.
Please holler at us, MGM Grand or DraftKings or FanDuel, please. We have to make this happen. ESPN Bet. Shit talking should be a sport that's bet on.
I completely agree. We could do a fantasy. We're going to talk fantasy in a couple weeks. We got a fantasy league structure. But for today, I wanted to roll out some 2024 MVP futures. Some odds. I want you to tell me, if you were putting your money down, where your money would go. I have a bunch of names that we put odds on, and then we're going to watch some battles with maybe some sleeper picks, some people we're not as familiar with, and we'll see if they could fit into it. So we'll kind of jump back and forth between all that stuff. Sound good?
Who you got?
All right, so let's throw the odds up here on the screen and take a look at this. So these are the early odds. Let's start by looking at the first 5. Okay, we got Shalaka Corrupt, the defending MVP from London. She won last year, so she gets the best odds. Plus 600 there. Ryan Nesson, the world champion, plus 700. Ryan Calin, the rep from Scotland. And then a couple names we didn't see at the World Championship. Heather Keith in Austin at plus 750. Lexi Achinelli representing the Bay Area at plus 800. What jumps out to you in this group? Where's the smart money?
What jumps out to me is that last year's season 1, semifinalist John Najota is on the outside looking in, which is disrespect to the New York scene in general, and John Najota personally. But Lexi Achinelli, Heather Keith, 2 very strong candidates to be 2024 RBL MVP. They had the best battle of the season, arguably last season.
Yep.
So that's what jumps out to me, is that John's on the outside looking in, and that Lexi Achinelli, maybe the rookie of the year last year, is already in the top 5 going in, like, you know, if we're doing preseason, like college football rankings, she's number 5 right now, looking at Alabama, which is Shalaka Corrupt.
I think when you look at it, right, and you know, when you put together these odds, there's a couple things that go into it. John Ajota last year had 5 battles, which was enough to win New York MVP. But when you look at like Shalaka, who had 16, and Ryan Nesson, who had 8, and Heather Keith, who I think was somewhere between like 7 to 10.
Okay.
The actual league MVP, I think 5 is kind of a light schedule. I mean, 5 in 8 months is a lot.
Right.
But when you're competing against 1,000 other people, I feel like, it's going to be tough to compete with that low number of battles. The other thing that goes into it, if you've watched any sport at all, it's going to be a playoff team, right? There's going to be somebody who elevates their team to a playoff role. And if a team has too many MVP candidates, like the Dodgers. Season's getting ready to start. You got Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani. The odds are probably longer on them than they would typically be, because if they all play to their capabilities, they could split the vote.
Right.
I think that happens a little bit in New York, where they have so many like good people. Chicago's the same way. It's really hard to pinpoint one standout person, whereas like right now I feel like Lexi Achinelli, Ryan Ness, and Shalaka Karup are the standouts of their scene.
Right. I mean, you can't argue with that top 5 right there. I mean, I would say that probably is the top 5.
Yeah.
Even though I see the disrespect, I would have put John in there because he was in the top 4 last year, and he is something to be reckoned with. He came in 3rd place. He's the third, he came in 3rd place last season. So him on the outside looking in as if it's a rebuilding year for him is very funny to me. But Lexi, that 5 you're talking about?
Yeah.
My money would be on Lexi Achinelli just because she just has this killer instinct about her, and I haven't seen her lose, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, she's unstoppable right now.
But
And
Ryan, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh,
Ryan Nesson. That's my guy. Let me stop.
Oh, man, you're such a pussy, dude.
Let me stop doubting the king.
Let
me stop doubting the king. But my dark horse money's on Lexi. But sorry, Ryan.
Right. I sent this to Ryan because I knew it would bother him. He's like, "How did I win the championship and I'm second?" I'm like, dude, we got to keep that chip on your shoulder, man. We got to keep you feeling disrespected. The interesting thing for me with Shalaka is going to be last year, London was the only international scene that ran every week. Mm-hmm. So she had a lot of battles. This year, at least for the time being, they're working on a new venue that would allow them more flexibility and going back to weekly. But for now, they're starting at monthly, and they will not have their first show of the season until March 29th.
Ooh.
So they are putting themselves well behind the 8 ball, not just to win their division, but also Shalaka's chances to repeat as MVP. So that plus 600, if they don't get back to a weekly format soon, that's going to be a tough road to hoe for all of the London people on this list.
And she's got a target on her back. People have seen a year's worth of game film on Shalaka now. They kind of know her tactics a little bit.
For sure.
They saw Ryan beat her, in overtime last year. I mean, she's very formidable, but I think she's very vulnerable because she's beatable. Because she does kind of have that thing that you can rock paper scissors your way out of with her with some of her jokes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's take a look at one of the battles right now. We're going to run through 5 of these. And these are some sleeper people, some names we maybe don't see on the list there, but could be the people who take the step forward this year and cement themselves in this race. We're going to start in Scotland, playoff city last year. If they have similar success this year, you might see these names at the top of this list. We're talking about Jack Traynor and Rory Spence. Here it is.
Let's roast! Rory smells like he still buys CDs. Rory always wears a suit to gigs to make sure he's ready to go straight to court when an allegation catches up with him. Rory's fashion sense and constant stoned, bewildered facial expression make him look like a dementia patient that's just stumbled out a time machine.
Jack Traynor is well named. He has the exact vibe of a worn-out old pair of Reeboks. You look like you wanted to become a drug dealer but took all the drugs before you could sell them. You're like the personification of Dundee. Small, struggling to stay relevant, massive drug problem.
Rory looks like the 30-year-old virgin who's standing in the crowd with his parents in the background of the Antiques Roadshow. Rory looks like one of those sex offenders who it's his first time wearing a suit after his defence lawyer pleaded with him that the anime hoodie won't help his case. Rory looks like the Mumford & Sons all had an orgy and created the Mumford & Sons son.
Jack once accidentally took meth and then instantly became this anti-meth poster you see before you. When Jack told me he still lived with his parents, I was surprised he had parents. I assume he just emerged out of a music festival toilet, fully grown. Jack is the answer to the question, what would Harry Potter look like if it was written in Cumbernauld instead of Edinburgh? Instead of magic, he's got drugs. Instead of an owl, he has a fox living on his head.
I was surprised to find out Rory had a phobia of slugs. Seems more like the type to keep one on his shoulder as a sidekick. Rory looks like he surfs the dark web for pictures of children. When Rory told me he owned 70 ties, I had to check he meant the things around his neck and he wasn't trafficking women from Bangkok.
Jack works in a bakery, which isn't a surprise. He's baked more often than I am. Jack is also a comedian and an actor. He has his finger in many pies, leading to numerous health and safety warnings at the bakery. Jack made his TV debut playing a character called Crackpipe. He didn't audition, they just found him passed out in a skip behind the studio. Gave him 20 quid.
Rory looks like he'll inject anything but a vaccine. Rory looks like the first guy to ever be diagnosed with a girlfriend deficiency. Rory's a recovering gambling addict. I'm not much one for it, but I bet he dies alone.
Jack went to uni in China and speaks Mandarin, which surprises people. I know, I can't believe he went to uni either. He went there on a scholarship, which I assume was part of a government programme to make China think we're all fucking idiots. Jack has learning difficulties. He has difficulty learning that no means no.
Rory was once so drunk that he had to be taken home by the police when he was 14, and it wasn't the last time he was involved in a crime involving a 14-year-old. Rory has ADHD, nothing to do with his attention span. It stands for I don't have deodorant. Rory was once nearly crying after an English guy said something anti-Scottish to him in a pub. Since this is a roast, let me take a leaf out that guy's book. Why don't you fuck off back to Jokeland, you deep-fried wanker? Nah, it didn't work.
Jack has been told by several people that he might have autism, but I think there's a difference between not understanding social cues and being a massive cunt. Jack has a phobia of certain foods touching, which is surprising because he looks like he eats out of the bins behind Nando's. When Jack was young, he wanted to be a rapper. His potential rap names were Wee Diddy, Lice Cube, and Grandmaster Flashes at the school gates.
Calin there, big round of applause! Didn't understand a word.
We don't have a subtitle budget for this podcast.
The part, honestly, dude, I love the Scottish battles because, like, I think the joke writing is so good. And, like, for me, it's an exercise in, like, focus. I have to force myself. Sometimes, like, when they submit battles, I'll watch Scotland, like, 5 times just to make sure, like, I get everything. Because the jokes that I understand are, like, really, really good. They're great joke writers over there.
I mean, they're speaking like a South Park version of the King's English. It's like their heads are going like this all the time. I mean, yeah, for guys like you've had a chance to master the language for centuries, right? I know you guys think we are bastard children of the language, but my God, you guys all try to talk like us, and we have never wanted to sound like you.
Wow. Wow, shots fired. Okay, I was just gonna say
Yeah, but no, that was a great
I was
battle
trying to say
between
a joke. Good jokes.
Taylor Hawkins today and Fanny Milanakis. Fanny means pussy over there.
Yeah, look at you. I think that was my first time seeing Rory. I've seen Jack before, the one who looks like Chucky from Rugrats, all grown up.
Yes.
Yeah. He's shout out Ryan Cullen. I think Ryan Cullen had a Rugrats joke on him first, but like that guy is a really fucking good joke writer, and that took place at their most recent event. They get back into the season on, I believe, March 19th will be their first one. So first couple weeks, we will be devoid of Scottish accents, but then they're coming hard and heavy. So
no,
I hope you're ready.
I mean, honestly, those guys are really good joke writers. I really did like that battle from what I did understand.
Yeah.
This is all for comedic effect, fellas. Please don't send your car bombs or whatever. Wrong country. Look at me just fucking roasting you motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same. Let's look at the bottom half of the left bracket. That's where we got John Ajota plus 900, along with Patrick DePari from Austin, who we just saw. Ken Grinnell, the former champion from London, also at plus 900. Paige Wesley, your pick for LA MVP last year at plus 950. Katie Kincaid leading the Chicago charge at plus 1,000. Anybody in there that you think could be good money?
That's the next five, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of like that. That's like that five right there. I feel like those five, man. Obviously Paige. When Paige gets back in the ring, I mean, she's probably my favorite every time.
Yep.
I'll never bet against Paige Wesley. Katie Kincaid, I've seen her in two different cities. She's a monster. Ken Grinnell has been all around the world battling, so he's got a lot of experience. Patrick DePari, I did text you yesterday, and I said that actually might be my dark horse in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Pat's just got jokes galore.
Yeah, I think all five of those guys fit into the category of what makes a great roast battler, which is like they're great writers and great performers, but also like they seem to be pretty big targets in that like other top tier people want to battle them. And I think that's what makes the best battles. And keep in mind, like the MVP is calculated on a lot of things, wins and losses, sure, but like how many times they're on this podcast. And this podcast, we don't focus on who wins and who loses. It's all about the quality of the battle. And all five of those guys have had some classics that we've seen.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see Paige Wesley get back in this thing. And Patrick DePari, don't let me down.
All right, let's jump to another battle right now. And like I said, Katie Kincaid was the top one in Chicago at plus 1,000. That's a city that has so many people that could stand out and be the guy. Last year, there was Katie Kincaid, Brandon Kiefer, Eric Emerson. There were a bunch of people who were all kind of crowded at the top. I wanted to take a look at a couple others. This was a battle I saw of Chicago during the offseason with two guys. I think I saw Harry once, and I had yet to see David. And this was a really good battle. And I'm wondering, could either of these guys be the one to take the jump in the 2024 season? This is Harry Breitner versus David Donick from Chicago. Let's check it out.
Harry's a bartender, which is great if you like being poor. He doesn't drug women's drinks, but he does do non-consensual magic tricks at the bar.
You can tell I'm a good bartender because David thinks we're friends.
Shut the fuck up. You look like Bert and Ernie, dude.
You're gonna make fun of the way I look like you don't look like somebody tried to draw Macklemore from memory?
Ooh. You know, I give them that. We look like we're in the same D&D game, but I'm trying to win and he's trying to fuck all of the goblins.
So I'm the cool one. Okay.
Yeah.
David looks like a sex doll for somebody who has a fetish for acne scars.
Wow. This is a kid's show, man. I mean... Harry's favorite sex position is the standing 100 feet from a playground.
David is a high school teacher at Chicago Public Schools. He's a teacher. He's one of those cool teachers who lets his students call him by his first name. The only problem is that all of his students seem to think that his first name is bitch.
Cool as hell, baby. Harry looks like a vampire that gave up blood sucking to open a vape shop. The only thing he sucks now is at conversations.
David, every time you tell a joke, I feel like you're about to finish it up with, and smash that subscribe button.
Dude, that's crazy. You look like... Harry, you look like the serial killer and the YouTube detective trying to stop him.
Wow. That's tough talk from Disney Channel Ted Bundy.
Shut up. You look like Pinocchio and his nose.
It looks like David uses a lot of hair product, but he actually doesn't use any hair product. That's just what hair naturally starts to look like when your own students give you a swirly every morning.
Oh, man. Dude, Harry looks like the weatherman for incels. On today's forecast, again, no bitches? What?
David's face is just like a bad blowjob. I fucked it up already. David's face is just like a bad blowjob. Way too much teeth.
Oh, man. Harry, so this is true. Harry's actually from Florida, which is cool, kinda, but he's the most non-threatening Florida man I've ever met in my life. Like, if he ever came to me and said that he wrestled an alligator, it means his girlfriend just pegged him earlier.
David looks like he spent all of his trust fund money on roofies.
Dude, Harry's built like the Pixar lamb because he's so white and fucking gay.
All right. We'll call it. Give it up for them, everybody. Give it up for them.
All right, we're back. All right, hey, I'm getting over like a chest thing, and I have a coughing. I break into coughing fits whenever I start laughing, and something about you're like the Pixar lamp because you're gay. Dude, it's
that
coming
one's
again.
for the fathers.
Yeah.
That one's for the fathers, yo.
Oh my God, that was that was so funny because he started that joke and then halfway through he was like, I don't know where I'm going with this. Better pull the gay ripcord and see what happens. That was a fun battle though.
David and Harry, I understood every word.
Uh-huh.
It was so much fun when I could understand English. But they had really good jokes. I mean, they were perfect. You could tell they were friends. One's a teacher, one's a bartender. Classic friends usually.
Oh yeah.
But that was great, man. David, really, a lot of things roll off of him. He had a real young, fresh comic vibe. He reminds me of like the new comics coming out. Just like, come on, dude. You know, like everything. Of course I'm gay. You know, he's just got a real everything can roll off and vibe. And Harry was just kept nailing him. Was just like, well, let me tell you, sir. He was serving him like a bartender.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I have to. I should have done my research to see if either of those guys are in the Chicago tournament, which is about to get started. Because last year, if you remember, the early front runner for MVP of the whole league was Tito,
right?
Who won because the Chicago tournament. There's a lot of tournaments that take place right at the start of the season. Australia is running theirs. Chicago is running theirs. We have the California Cup going out here.
Yeah,
there's a lot of opportunities in that first month and a half of the season to win 3 or 4 battles en route to winning a tournament and establish yourself as like an early front runner. I think it could be somebody from Chicago who does that like they did last year. And if those guys are in the tournament, either one of them could go a long way.
Yeah.
Very, very funny guys. Before we get to the next one, let's jump back into the RBL MVP 2024 odds. That graphic that whoever made this thing fucking nailed it. Look at that.
Yeah, guy's a badass.
Artful.
Or lady. Or them.
Yeah. Whoever. It was me. Let's look at the top right quadrant now. These are the next 5 names. We have from London, Lee Hudson, who we've known for a while. He came out here and battled digits long before the Roast Battle League was even a thing.
Oh, yeah, back when he was Los Digits.
Yeah. We were just like, hey, we have a fat British guy who wants to battle somebody. And we were like, I don't know, digits? And somehow it was incredible. He's plus 1,000. Eric Emerson from Chicago, plus 1,100. Jay Yamaki, the reigning Tokyo champion, plus 1,100. Hershon Aurora, I think, could be a sleeper if Toronto makes a run this year. He's plus 1,200. And then Dan Wicks, who we just saw at the mothership, plus 1,200 as well.
Man, New York keeps getting disrespected. I don't know. I thought Dan Wicks was he was up for New York MVP last year. I thought he did really well.
He was. He had my vote.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, it could have went either way between him and Jota. Hershon, he's really good with words and letting things roll off of him, kind of like David from Chicago we just saw. So I agree with you on that one. Hershon he's a sleeper pick. I would put some money on that guy. Jay Yamaki, the Tokyo champ. I mean, it's just he's got like an East Coast bias in sports where like we just don't see Jay Yamaki enough.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like he's like a West Coast guy because we just never get to see Tokyo. Eric Emerson, he's in that pool of white guys with glasses who look like they'll either kill you verbally or physically, serial killer style.
Sure.
And then you got my man Lee Hudson. I've known that guy forever since they kind of started out there in London. So Lee's got experience. He's only getting better as a stand-up. And as a roast battler, he's already been a killer. So, yeah, but big money on Wicks, man. That's the guy.
Yeah, Wicks at plus 1,200 could be that could be good money spent. His ceiling, like what we saw when he was out here battling Forrest Wheeler a little bit ago, is so high that he's somebody you got to watch out for sure. Let's jump to the next battle before we come back and look at the end of this graphic right here. This next one, you're gonna get a kick out of this, dude. Did you meet Tyree Dillard when we were in Denver?
No.
Okay, so this is the first. This is a guy we've seen before, Spaghetti Jake.
Yeah.
Classic character from Denver, one of our favorites. Love Spaghetti Jake. Going up against a guy named Tyree Dillard, who I had never seen before. It's his first ever battle. I met him when we were in Denver. He's battling again coming up in a few days. And this one is a lot of fun. I'm not going to spoil it. Let's just get into it. Spaghetti Jake, Tyree Dillard. Here it is.
Main event, everyone. We're doing best of 5 jokes. We got Spaghetti going first. Battle, 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 battle. Let's fucking go. I'm going to give it a couple more seconds so they could adjust the cameras. Okay. I gotta admit, I'm pretty disappointed. When I heard I was gonna meet a Denver Nugget, this is not what I expected. This is a bit of a layup for me. I'll be honest. Tyree, a layup is what people do in a game called basketball.
Yeah. Thank you, Larry Bird, with a thyroid problem. Come on with it, bitch. Come on with it. You look like Owen Wilson playing Chris Farley in a movie.
Okay. Everybody give it up for the hardest working wheelchair in Denver. Tyree's the fattest little person I know. He's got a muffin top and a nothing bottom.
Sick burn, less fortunate themester.
Too niche, douchebag.
You look like you rode the short bus to Flavortown.
I've heard of an unarmed black man, but this is getting ridiculous. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Black legs matter.
That was a good one.
Oh.
Spaghetti Jake actually became a sex offender because he kept asking random children for a bite of their burger.
Everyone give it up for Lieutenant Dwayne. Tyree's a big fan of anime. In other words, this 3-piece likes watching One Piece. You look like Blackbeard if he ate the stump fruit.
Not enough people know One Piece, but good try. You look like Mario if his power-up was donuts.
I would love a donut right now. Coming from a donut himself, huh? Tyree, thank you for...
You look like you put young gravy on your potatoes.
And you look like a potato. Thank you for answering the question, what if the 3/5 compromise was a person? Get too many damn notes.
Not gonna lie, I was a little nervous coming up here to roast Spaghetti Jake because I heard that he's a serial killer. He killed all the Cocoa Puffs, he killed all the Frosted Flakes, and he killed all the Fruity Pebbles.
I just killed a Cocoa Puff right now, motherfuckers. Wide right, clap your fucking hands for these two.
Man, that was a... Spaghetti Jake was on fire in that bat. First of all, Tyree Dillard, potential early pick for Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Somebody who we didn't see at all last season.
You can barely see him on that.
You could barely see him at all this season. But man, for a first battle to come right out and like hit his first couple jokes like that, I thought he lost steam like as the battle went on. Whereas Spaghetti Jake just got like stronger and stronger. Tyree actually ended up winning. It went to double overtime. If you want to see the whole thing, check out Roast Battle Denver on YouTube. You could see it on theirs. But I thought Spaghetti highlighted exactly what you would like to see out of somebody, a sleeper MVP candidate, a down ballot. Like, who knows? Maybe this guy could make a run. Those jokes were, I thought, great.
I mean, he did the. He must have researched the roast battle, textbook, which is
yes.
Okay, chapter 1, racism. How can we squeeze enough out of it? And I mean, he really got all of it out of there. I mean, those are classic. The 3/5 compromise, unarmed black man.
Yep.
I mean, just some of the best race jokes I've really heard. So thank you, Spaghetti Jake. That was a really fun battle.
Yeah, because I mean, to me, the key to a successful, like, not just race joke, but like anything like that. But we'll say race for this argument. Can you say that to any black guy? And if you replace Tyree Dillard with a different black guy, unarmed black, the 3/5 compromise, they don't work. So to me, that's what separates lazy racism from just like a good joke writing.
Yeah. Step up your racism, everybody.
I'm saying step up your writing in general, and if we're doing a thing where insulting the other person and racism is part of the deal.
Yeah. Don't be lazy. Grind it out.
Exactly.
Grind your racism out.
Exactly. What do you think the 2024 season is going to hold for Spaghetti Jake?
Well, he's not on the odds right now, so I don't know. Spaghetti Jake, I've only seen him twice now, and it seems like he needs a target. Because for the most part, he is the target coming up there.
Yeah.
So I feel like Jake needs a partner who he can play with a lot, and I think that's like Digits. Digits needs a partner he can play with a lot. If there's a lot to play with there, those guys can really dig in and lean into like what their characters are. I think, which can be the heel or they can be super likable. Depending on what if you're into characters like that. So I mean, that's Jake. Jake is obviously a dark horse. Do I think he's going to MVP? I don't even think he's going to get a vote.
No.
Yeah, but that was a fun battle.
But in the way we have this thing structured, where the idea is to put on entertaining battles to earn points for your city, he could be a really big asset to the Denver scene. Yeah,
I mean, like I could be wrong. Like he could do a whole 10-0 season like Ryan Nesson, and I could be eating crow yet again or eating spaghetti.
We'll both be on that one. We'll both have to look into the camera and be like, I apologize, Spaghetti Jake.
Eating spaghetti. He's not familiar with the recipes.
Well, let's close out the MVP odds right here, and we have a couple names from Denver that did make the list, and then a couple international names, and then a name I threw in there mainly just for you. You got Duffy Connors at plus 1,500. Duffy Connors actually led the entire league in wins last year. He was the only person who won more than Shalaka Karup. He didn't have many RBL Weekly ranked battles, which was what separated them, but he won 15 battles in 8 months last year, which is pretty insane. Adam Gilliland from Denver also coming in at plus 1,500. That's a guy that if Denver makes the playoffs, I could absolutely see him in the World Championship picture next year. Crystal Evans from Scotland is another one that comes in at plus 1,600. She's an intriguing name to me because other than Ryan Cullen, she was at the top of the Scotland class last year.
Okay.
And if you have a city that can make the playoffs and you can be the best in that city, anything can happen. Jake's Pizza from Denver at plus 1,800. And then your girl, Malia Simon at plus 2,000. Ever since you saw her live at the Mothership, you have been on the Malia Simon. You've been the captain of that bandwagon.
I've seen her battles at NYCC. They're posting them all the time. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the way she uses. She's like Gilliland and Tapitza in that I guess same regard. Just because I love the way they use their word economy. They're poster children for this sport.
Yep.
The way they write their jokes, the way they deliver their jokes. Short, punchy, and really they go below the surface. So all three of those, Malia, Jake, and Gilliland, man, I mean that's a death pool. That's a death group right there. But any of those three, I would lean with Jake and Adam Moore. They could win this whole thing. They could be RBL MVP for this whole season. Crystal, not familiar with her game yet. Duffy Connors, you're right. He's kind of like a Gonzaga mid-major, right? He beats a bunch of nobodies, so it's like he's not going to get the respect. But if you put him in a ring with some killers, I mean, he may get some kills.
Yeah. No doubt. There's a lot of talent on this board in general. All 20 of these names are people that I think are fantastic battlers. And who knows? I mean, odds are that the MVP might not even be on that board. They might come out of nowhere. We will see. I want to throw one more sleeper at you, and this is someone else from the London scene. Now, this was a battle that was submitted towards the end of last season, and it didn't make it because it's not a super competitive battle, but it is kind of a standout performance for one guy, a guy who went 8-2 last season, and yet we didn't hear a whole lot about him. I'm talking about Hugh Peacock. This is his battle against Yvonne Tsao. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And let's check this one out.
Hello, everybody. This is Yvonne. But wait, Yvonne, if you're here, who is breaking up the Beatles?
Great joke. This pet-shaped Hagrid is Hugh Peacock. Being Hugh's girlfriend is like watching England football. It's very exciting, but he just never comes home.
Very sad. 40 years of hurt indeed. And okay, Yvonne told me that she started going to the gym to get skinny, but she accidentally got jacked. Yeah. I visited Yvonne's cousin once in massage parlor in I also accidentally got jacked.
Thank you. Hugh also tried to lose weight. As you can see, not very successful. So Hugh is the cause of the Great Irish Famine. He will eat anything, except the pussy.
No matter how many times you ask.
It's alright. I'd rather die in a farm than eat.
Yvonne has never been with a Chinese man. She's like COVID, actually. She comes from China, but just fucks the rest of the world.
Hugh's also not very successful with women, because he will just crush them all when he's on top.
Depends what you mean by successful.
So Hugh plays rugby from very, very young age. He has a pretty face that you can only see in the gay gangbang porn. Where he would suck dicks all night but never admit it the next day.
I'll admit it. And, Yvonne broke her knee and has been a little bit disabled ever since. With parts this unreliable, you can be assured she comes from China.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Well, you see, like, I can never leave Chairman Mao, but Hugh can never leave Chinese buffet.
They are delicious.
Indeed. So Hugh is a mum's boy. He's a mum's boy. Yet he turned out to be a cheater, just like his dad. Yeah, it's just really unfortunate that he became his mom's type.
Yvonne is a gym girl and an Asian. She's like two of my favorite porn categories. Old and very gettable. Fuck it. Shouldn't I? Anyway,
Sure. So Hugh looks like the son of Kim Jong-un. If Kim Jong-un did too much cocaine, fuck him up.
Okay, so didn't end strong. Felt like he had a really good run in the middle. The COVID joke, she comes from China and just fucks the rest of the world, was
the big standout.
Yeah, I mean that was really, really good. The parts in China I thought was, obviously there was a theme to kind of his thing. I actually liked what he went for at the end, where he's like, two of my favorite porn categories, old and gettable. Like that, I thought that was funny. The crowd disagreed. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
No.
All right.
I mean, like, yeah, they're fine, but yeah, again, it's shout out America, really killing it this episode.
This was an American standout episode. It's tough, dude. During the off season, it's tough to find like new things to throw up there that people haven't seen. I can't wait for the season to start, where everybody's going to be sending in fresh battles every week. We get back to the competitiveness. I'm not going to put you on the spot for MVP unless you want to be on the spot.
No, it's
Okay.
way too early to tell. Way too early to tell. But preseason's fun, so I'll give you my playoffs.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you playoffs.
Yeah.
I'll go with Adam Gilliland.
So you think Denver's winning the West?
I think Denver's getting in.
Whoa.
I think Denver's getting in.
Whoa.
I like. All right, so yeah, I'll say Gilliland, and there's one more USA person, right? I got to get in there, Paige. So I'll go.
No,
Gilliland.
they're both in the West.
They're both in the
you need
West.
somebody from the East, New York or
who's? All right, yeah,
New York,
who?
Chicago.
Wow.
See, it's tough.
Wow, Paige, you got a lot of work cut out for you because there's some killers in the West, man. East might be an easier bracket.
East also has our two. It's New York, Chicago, and our two expansion cities.
Right, Cleveland.
Atlanta and Cleveland. Yeah,
Cleveland's
West
tough.
is killers. That doesn't even include Austin. You got
Right.
L.A., Austin, Denver, and the Bay Area.
Well, I got Heather in there, and you got you got Pat in there, Patrick DePar. I mean, man, yeah. You know what? I'm not going to call it. That's crazy. There's so much going on. There's two new cities.
Yeah,
in,
too many.
in America, and there's two international.
And you know we're gonna preview that next week, who your division winners are and everything like that. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. If you have a pick for MVP in the comments, if you want to get this on record right now, throw it in the comments down below, and I will come back and rewatch this video when we name the MVP.
Okay.
And if it's you, I will Venmo you $5.
What?
You hear that? I'm putting my money where my mouth is.
Whoa.
Anybody in the comments who correctly predicts the MVP, I will Venmo you $5 American to anywhere on earth. You have my word on that.
Wow. The American dollar. I feel like China's coming up, as my man Hugh Peacock was saying. So,
Yeah.
No yen?
No.
American art.
Yeah, no, it's $5. Take it or leave it. I'm very poor. This is the best I could do.
The commission. I mean, that's a $5 from the commissioner of a sports league.
Yeah.
That's huge. You can sell. You can flip that to like $10.
Dude, Roger Goodell did not pay anybody who picked Lamar Jackson this year. Not one person. And you don't have to put any money up. This isn't gambling. This is just me rewarding you for being a smart RBL fan. So drop your names and your picks for MVP in the comments, and I will revisit this. And if I don't, harass me. Send me a DM and be like, what the fuck, dude? You owe me $5. I will be on that. I promise. Two more of these, two more off-season episodes, and then we're into the regular season. I'm excited. I can't wait for it. Thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll be back next week with more RBL Weekly. Until then,
let's roast!